Welcome back to CBS 8 News Live at 6. As we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, we are talking with some of our local Hispanic leaders to discuss progress that's been made in our communities along with challenges that people still face. Tonight we welcome National City Mayor Alejandra Sotelo-Solis joining us live in studio. Mayor, welcome and thank you for being here.
Muchísimas gracias, Marcela.
Oh, and I love your earrings. It just fits in with the theme.
Thank
so
you.
Colorful.
So festive. My executive assistant provided them from her vacation down in Mexico. So, dun, 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 dun.
Authentic.
Yes.
I love it. Now, you're the first Latina mayor of National City. You've been in office almost 4 years. When you look back at your time in office, what has evolved? How have you seen lives improve? What's the makeup of your community? So
65% is Latino, followed by Filipino. So we have a very diverse population in National City when it comes to immigrant backgrounds as well as language. And so being on council for 10 years prior to being elected first Latina, first mom, first businesswoman in 131 years in the history of the city, it became 2019 was we were going to take over the world, we were going to bring in housing, we were going to just talk about so many various elements. And then the pandemic hit. And it really came down to survival and making sure that we had the T3, testing, tracing, and treatment. So how it's evolved as an elected official, as a public servant, as a mom even. During the pandemic, I became principal of the school, as well our home school, you know, when everybody was in home learning, as well as lunch lady, nurse, and then still facilitating meetings online for our community.
Everyone wearing a lot of hats, and those were some pretty dark days in the beginning, and trying to get especially the community that you serve to trust yes. Things like the vaccine and reaching out for help.
Very much so, and you know, just knowing that there was phases to what the pandemic meant, not just for our region and our city, but the world. You know, there was that fear, and just being able to build that confidence in my community from the entering into the vaccine trial for Johnson & Johnson before it was FDA approved, and doing everything on camera, you know, from the brain swab to the blood draw, and just sharing that experience. And you know, I even had an aunt who asked me, why you? And I said, why not me?
You know, you're a third-generation resident of National City. You're raising your 3 daughters, yes. along with your husband. They're now the 4th generation. What do you remember about growing up, your upbringing, the good, the bad, things you wanted to change, and what are you now trying to set as a role model for your 3 daughters? I mean, you're busy, like you said. You are a mom, in addition to all the other hats that you wear.
Well, you know, it takes a village, truly. And I have to say thank you to all my family and friends who's been supportive throughout my time as an elected official, as well as those who pushed me to be better, various colleagues, especially Councilmember Rios, and you know, just so many people who have been there, especially my husband. You know, when we look at just balancing life, because every day is a different journey, but really being able to say, these are our goals for today, for this week, for this month, and then for the city as a whole. We have so many opportunities in the very near future that we're very excited to be announcing.
For people that don't live there, you want to invite them down.
Very much so. We have, you know, we're only the 2nd oldest city to the city of San Diego. They applied 6 months before we did to become a municipality, so we just chased them by 6 months. But we hosted the first county fair. We have olive trees, we have Brick Row, we have Nieder Frank's ice cream, we have Napoleon's Pizza, like all of these spaces that, one, I'm getting hungry just sharing, but you know, being able to say, look, these are destination sites.
I want to share a statistic from the County Health and Human Services Agency. From 2000 to 2017, National City had the highest percentage of deaths due to chronic disease. What have you done to improve the lives of the people who live in National City?
Well, we were honored to be recognized by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation for the efforts of partnering with organizations like Environmental Health Coalition and Olive Wood Gardens to bring in projects like our community garden, as well as
farmers
markets.
Yes.
And we're hoping to bring more opportunities like that to our communities, which may not have the accessible grocery store at the ready. They may have to take a bus to get to where they need to get. So we also introduced our Frank, our free ride around National City.
Awesome.
We received $1 million from CARB, the Air Resources Board, and we're hoping to bring that, connect park to park to park, and really engage our community for free.
To get them out and about, interacting with each other.
That's it, and it's zero emissions, so it's electric.
That's wonderful, and the whole waterfront that's being built.
Oh yeah, and it's going to connect to Pepper Park.
That's amazing. A lot of wonderful things happening in National City. If you haven't checked it out, please join the mayor in really just spreading the word about the greatness of the city. Thank you so much for joining us here live in studio. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but we're so happy that you could join us to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month.
Muchísimas gracias, Marcela.
Thank you.
Thank you.